So here we are in the environment here that we enter into when we first get into Tilt Brush. You have your control panels here in your left hand, and down here we're in expert mode right now. You can clear sketch and you can save your sketches and things. What we want to do is control our environment, and that is going to be down here. And you can see that our environment, for example, if we just want to make it a standard black, a standard white environment, or a colored environment, a blue environment, there's something nice. And then if we want to select our color, I'm just going to go with something kind of maybe a kind of a light grayish blue right now to start with. And you can see our initial tools. We have an eraser tool, a dropper, recolor. I use the eraser quite a bit, and the straight edge. So let's click the straight edge on and then go over to our brushes. I think the first thing we want to do, we can actually turn straight edge off. First thing we want to do is just test out our brushes. And I would start from the very beginning and just make a line. Now you can make your lines horizontal or vertical depending on what kind of database you want to create. I'm going to make them vertical. And you can see the advantage or one of the nice things about drawing in TiltQuest in VR is that you can walk around your lines and you can draw in 3D. Okay, we can undo those. And you can control your thickness with your toggle on your right hand. So there's a big, I don't really like that brush that much. It's very flat and two-dimensional. I suppose if you layered them, you might be able to get something that's nice. But this is the way I'd want you to start is by going through and taking a look at all your different brushes and seeing what they do. Now again, these are very, very two-dimensional kinds of brushes, almost like you were drawing on a wall. Tapered marker. Now remember, I'm saying that these are very flat brushes, but keep in mind, drawing in 3D, you can actually make them sculptural. So we do want to note that. I'm just making these lines going straight down, but keep in mind you can get very, very creative in space with these. What do we have? Thick paint? Did we do wet paint? Marker, tapered marker, pinched marker. These all look pretty much the same to me. Highlighter, here's flat, tapered flat, pinched flat, soft highlighter. That's kind of a nice little glowing kind of line you can create there. Here's light. This is where it starts getting interesting for me, is that you can, these are, I mean, the limitations of these brushes are only limited to in the hand of the artist, but they are kind of flat and two-dimensional. And here we start to get your painting with neon lights. So you're starting to get into some of these effects brushes, and they really start to glow and give off a completely different feel. Here's fire, right? Keep in mind too, fire, you're thinking of like maybe more of a red color, so you can do that. And keep in mind too, I mean, we're just testing the brushes out now, but each stroke you made could be a different color. So keep in mind that you can layer these as well. Now I'm resizing these and moving them by holding down my two inner buttons and then moving them around. I can also make this huge, which is what we'll do at the very end. So we were at fire. Here's embers. Again, just getting to know some of our brushes here. Snow, of course, the stars. Rainbow, Rainbows actually has potential, I think. Stars, velvet ink, waveform, very electric. That one. And again, we can make this big and we can make them small, right? Splatter, duct tape, paper, coarse bristles, Dr. Wigglesy, again kind of an animated stroke, electricity, streamers. Again, keep in mind that I'm just doing single strokes, but as you build this up, just like in painting, you can build up your strokes. Hypercolor, okay. Bubbles, one of my favorites. Again, here's some big bubbles, small bubbles, neon pulse, cell vinyl, and one of my favorites is this hypergrid. I don't like the color there. Okay, here we're going to work in a larger mode. You can again overlap these and start making three-dimensional structures. Light wire, chromatic wave, dots, petal, icing, tune, wire, spikes, and some of these later brushes, again, we're coming around to where we began here. Some of these later brushes start to get three-dimensional, so to me it starts to get really fun in here. Here's disco, comet, shiny hull. Okay, this is if you hold down your trigger, you can just keep building on this shape, and then when you let go. So a lot of potential in there. Matte hull, unlit hull, just a solid shape, and diamond, which is more of a transparent, semi-transparent. Those are your brushes. I would start by playing with those, building up, just getting to know your shapes, looking around, and the next thing we'll do is we'll start putting some of these brushes together in combinations or in concentrations and seeing what can happen.